Okay, we're back.
Can't remember.
So how long did you have your pilot's license for?
Maybe 25 years.
So from when you were 23,
Yeah, something like that.
did you own your own plane?
No, belonged to a flying club. We used to rent a plane. On Saturdays, we used to I told Claire we were going to go out for some practice. So my buddy and I would go to Las Vegas. And we'd rent a
Go
Cessna.
gamble.
And we didn't gamble much. In those days, when you went to Las Vegas, they gave you a car to use. They gave you a place to sleep. You went to stay
It was a different
overnight.
world.
Yeah, it was really different.
So, so between the attack and when you went in the Navy, you were basically just in school at the 4-4,
With the 4-4 and building planes,
and that was about it.
and that was about it. Yeah.
And you were still living with your sister, mother, brother,
Yeah,
and father? Or was this the brother that went in the Navy?
he was in the Navy already.
Okay.
It was just my sister and I and my dad.
Was your brother in the Navy when it was bombed or
No,
after?
he just worked there. He was working with my dad.
Okay. What was I gonna say? Would you say, how would you say the world changed directly after the war from what it was before?
Well, we were in the best years of this country.
Before?
No, after the war.
Okay.
The 50s and 60s were the best. Before the government made some radical changes and things.
You sure you're not just saying that because that's when you were young?
No, because what they did, they took us off the gold standard, which I think hurt the country, and they wouldn't allow monopolies at that time. If you owned a store, you couldn't own a bakery, and
So you couldn't own two stores at once?
no, you could own two stores. You could own 20 Safeways, but the Safeway couldn't make their own bread and donuts. And a donut shop, pastries made pastries only. A bread place made bread only.
That sucks.
No, it doesn't, because look at all the people and the little businesses you put
Yeah.
to work. And yeah, everybody was happy. They were working, making a living. So when they said you could make monopolies, like Safeway had, Ralph's at that time had their own bakery. Now the big company owns their own meat place. It's
So, but what changes do you think came directly from the war?
from the war. Well, it took us out of the Depression, and it made the United States very strong because
It made the what very
the
strong?
United States very
United States.
strong because they showed what we could do, and we were the ones that taught the rest of the world that's coming against us now. We went after the war, taught them about how to do the things they're doing now. So that's what came back to kill us. Like Japan, look, we taught them how to make Germany, and we taught them what to do. And now Japan and China and them are cutting our throats right now.
So, okay, this is going to sound really bad to ask, but do you think the war was a good thing?
No, war is never a good thing.
Not war
Right.
itself, but for the country and for the world. Do you think it made it better as a result of the war, or
No.
no?
I think it helped other countries,
But not us.
not us.
What about Japan?
It helped Japan. Japan was so far behind. And China was so far behind with Japan, China, and Germany was good. They went up and down, but China and Japan, they wasn't for the war, and I don't think they'd be what they are today.
From a personal experience, how would you describe our relations with Japan then and after the war?
Then, the reason Japan started the war because we wouldn't give them the steel they wanted.
That's what you believe is because of the steel?
That's what started. They started the war with us, and well, I just say that, as I said before, it's hard to say because the thing is that we built the rest of the world up, and that's why we are not in as good of a shape as we were.
So you think we were in better shape before the war?
Oh, well, since Roosevelt took over and was getting us out of the hole, I think so.
Okay. Um, on the besides the general war alert for the 2 weeks before, was there any hint that Japan was actually going to attack or any forewarnings?
Well, as far as we found out, that they were negotiating with Japan about certain things.
Hmm.
And I guess we wouldn't have been put on a war alert for 2 months before or something if there wasn't some thought about it. I mean, the average person didn't realize it.
Okay.
But
They just realized.
they figured sooner or later we're going to have to get into it
Okay.
because we're the only major country that was not in a war.
Did you like the idea of being an isolationist in the war?
Well, I was sort of young, but I felt that we, no, I felt we didn't. Why get it? I felt we should have maybe gotten into the war, but not as strongly because it was Germany was taking over everything. They were getting everybody more, but we did do our part because we supplied England.
Mm-hmm.
We gave them the things that kept them afloat that they were able to keep going on the Lend-Lease.
So you think we should have joined before we did?
I think so. I think that maybe we wouldn't have had Pearl Harbor
Okay.
because the Germans were very angry with Japan.
For bombing us?
Oh, absolutely.
Here come the Americans!
Yeah, because they got us going and they liked that we were out of it because the other people were not doing too good.
Right.
England wasn't doing too good, and
What do you think would have happened if America hadn't been bombed? Do you think we would have joined the war? Do you think Hitler would have won
no, I think in due time anyway we would have had to join
eventually?
because we couldn't let England go under, and we couldn't let them. They already went into France, and we couldn't let them fall completely. So I think we'd have had to go into the war. I think it was just, but
It was just a matter of
just a
time.
matter of time, and we wouldn't have had Pearl Harbor.
When they attacked Pearl Harbor, were there any sirens going off, or was there any warning system or anything?
None at all.
It just you woke up and there were bombs, basically.
Well, we woke up when I got the phone call.
Right, but I mean the general public just woke up to the sound of bombs.
That's right. That's why we say there's some kind of a sellout because we were on alert.
And no
We
one was
had-
there.
And nothing. There was nothing.
And you said it was around 7 in the morning.
I think so. It was early in the morning. I know.
How long that day? How long was the attack? Do you know?
It seemed like forever. It was. I'd say the first one at least 30, 45 minutes or better. Constant attack. Couldn't have been enough. Time-wise, I'm hard to tell. It's hard because there was 2 squads came in.
Was it all day? Would you say, or just in the morning?
No. It wasn't all day. It was. I guess it may have overall been a few hours, but it was hard to say. Don't forget, they were coming in, bombing, getting rid of their bombs and getting out of there, machine gunning what they can and getting out of there.
And then come back later and bomb something
Not the
else.
same one. No, there was 2 squads, one first and one following it.
And then they bombed again later days at the others. No?
Nothing after that. The 2
Nothing after December 7th? Not
No.
even to the military bases?
Nothing. There was nothing after. There was nothing after the first 2 squads. That was it.
Okay. Well, I think that's it. Anything else you'd like to say?
No, I think that. Remember, it's been over 60 years ago, and I think everything I'm saying is pretty much up to it. But there
And
could
you know
be,
what? If it's a
oh,
little off, if it's how you remember it, that's how you remember
But
it.
that's how I remember it.
That's the point of this interview. Is it's not for factual. It's for the perspective of someone who was there.
Well, actually, right now the Japanese own the island anyway.
Do they?
Well, not fundamentally, it's the
But it's
U.S.
just so many Japanese
Physically, they 90% of the businesses there are all Japanese.
on Oahu.
On Oahu. At least what I've been told, and people that live there. And one of the things, I wouldn't ever want to live in the island once I grew up. Being a kid, a teenager, young, fine. Even if I was there, I would have wanted to leave once I grew up because you're so restricted. See, here, if you want to go someplace,
You
you
just
can go get a car and drive like we drove around the United States.
Do you ever want to go back again and see it?
Well, I've been there twice now or 3 times.
Have you been to the memorial?
Oh, yeah, the ship, the Oklahoma. Yeah, I was there.
What did you think of the memorial?
Very, very sad.
My mom said that when she went and she saw the bubbles coming up, she just burst into tears
Yeah, that's from the oil.
from the oil.
They still don't have a full thing of oil on it. And that's from the oil. And you know, even by June or July, right before we left, it was sort of, everybody like took it, that's it, that's the situation. There was no, but everybody that was old enough wanted in the service. They wanted to get in the Army, Navy, Marines. And there wasn't anybody that was 18 or older.
That wasn't from Hawaii.
Yeah.
Why didn't the Air Force accept you? Was it just because there were too many people?
I didn't even apply
Well, I'm
because,
grandpa.
because somebody told me that they were not going to accept anyone in the Air Force. They had too many. And first of all, and anyway, at that time in the Air Force, you had to at least be finished in high school.
Right.
And I had to pick up when I came back.
You had to pick. You came back and finished high school.
Oh yeah, I finished everything when I came back. But
Did you go with a high school with regular high school kids, or was it one for veterans?
no, it was a special for getting your diploma. I got all that when I come back, but you had to be, I think, at least 20 by then to get
And
it.
what did you do after the war?
My dad owned a big factory, manufacturing factory.
What do you
and
manufacture?
luggage.
Okay.
And that's what he started over the island. The guy sold it to him. And I had to learn the whole business, and I did. I learned an electrical 220, and I became in charge of production and personnel. In order to become in charge of personnel, I had to learn every machine in that thing. And we had 2 assembly lines that I helped build.
Nice.
I put in special equipment. We used to make luggage with stapling by hand, and I designed with my brother's special machines with staples that could put 4 pieces in, zoom. And do
So
it.
you were in high school for a year, and then you went to your dad's company.
Yeah, and then I went to UCLA for a while.
Before or after your company?
In between.
Okay.
And then I got very involved with it. So,
You graduated from UCLA.
no, I didn't.
Oh, you
I
didn't. You never graduated.
No.
You went there for 2 years, a year.
You know, not just for a while. Because
Well, back then it was different.
got married, I had too much to do. But I was very involved with the school from the beginning. I was president of Cheers. I was president of Westside Bruins. I was on board of directors.
I'm showing your sweater.
Oh,
You're wearing it. Even
board
now,
of
you're wearing
directors.
UCLA.
I was. I started the pre-picnic, and
And you still know the coach of the football team.
yeah, and I still
Get
involved
great
with them.
seats.
I was very involved with them.
So, how long were you in the luggage?
Well, my dad, I was in luggage a long time because he started in he started before after the war. He started over there. I'd say I was in about 20 years, 25 years.
And then you went to the trucking business, right?
Yeah, and then I started my own trucking business.
Did
And then I had white front stores.
you had what?
White front stores. They're the first discount stores in California.
Did you ever think back to Pearl Harbor when you were working, when you were living your life? Did you ever just think back about it, or only when people brought it up?
Well, I thought back of it and what it was like when I was a kid and the funs I used to have. Like I was driving my dad's van 11 years old. But I never thought about Pearl unless people ask me about it or,
Is it hard for you to think back and talk about it, or?
no, not at all now.
All right, Grandpa.
Okay, that's it.
Well, thank you for your interview.
Okay, this is Sherman signing off.
This has been an interview with Sabrina Sherman and her grandfather, Harry Sherman. Thank you for watching, and I hope you learned a lot about Pearl Harbor and the war, and I hope it never happens again. Bye.